one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the Moines County Board of Supervisors meeting, March 3rd, 2026. Shane isn't going to be here, but he wanted me to assure you that he'll be back tomorrow. He's having surgery today, but he said he would be back in town tomorrow and that he was fine. So we shall proceed. Are there any changes to the tentative agenda?
I have none.
I have none. We have an agenda. Meet with department heads and elected officials. Sarah Doty, Des Moines County Auditor.
Good morning. So filing started yesterday for our primary election. So you have till the 20th if you're a Republican or Democrat county candidate to get your nomination papers in. Still working on budget things, still plugging away.
An independent doesn't have to.
An independent can start filing now, but they don't have to be, their deadline is June 2nd. So they have a while.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Yep.
Kevin Glendenny, Des Moines County Sheriff.
Good morning. Let's see, the jail this morning was at 87 adults. We have 19 out of county. Freshly from yesterday, there's 4 on the list to go to prison. And we have an appointment for them on Thursday, if they can find room in Oakdale, because they said they're already full. So we'll see how that all goes. 4 waiting on the residential facility. So that kind of continues, but hopefully we'll find some room as we make some movement there. Started our youth academy last Wednesday. It's a 10-week program. We have 8 kids from the Des Moines County area signed up for it, and we'll be going every Wednesday from here for the next 10 weeks. So got a good start to it, and excited to move forward with that program. Had the District 7 Mental Health Advisory meeting yesterday. Things that are really pertinent, I guess, law enforcement and corrections, is there's a bill going for to double the inpatient beds in the state, but there's going to be a big price tag with that. So I think they're hoping to find some Medicaid reimbursement to support that and some funding for that. So that would be big for us to find the high level of care inpatient beds for people that really need it, that the community-based services, where they haven't found success with community-based services, and stop the revolving door of them coming into our jail. In addition to that, just kind of working on how to deal with the long wait list that keeps building for competency evaluations and restoration. So hopefully finding some answers there, and regardless, we'll keep pushing for them. But that's not all I have for the board.
Thank you, Sheriff. Okay. Brandon Member, IT.
Just keeping busy with projects and maintenance, nothing new to report.
Thank you, Brandon. Rodney Boyster, Maintenance.
Good morning, things are going pretty well. Nothing new to report this morning.
Krista Pogemiller, Public Health.
Good morning, we're also keeping busy. The Iowa Health and Human Services released their county snapshot yesterday, and I just wanted to give a little highlight of what it said. When they look at how Des Moines County compares to the state of Iowa, for mental health, we're at 5.14 mental health days per month, and the state of Iowa is at 4.7. Addictive disorders, they have 22.3 of adults report binge drinking. Iowa average is 22.5. With 271 county residents received substance abuse treatments in fiscal year 25. Also, economic stability and income, 14.3% live below the rate of poverty in our county, where Iowa average is 11.1. 10,000 people are enrolled in Medicaid, and 24.8% of the household spends more than 30% on housing. 7.8% of housings do not have a vehicle. Active living, 34.8% of adults have an unhealthy body weight, BMI of greater than 30, which compared to the Iowa average is 37.9. Kind of alarming that 5,500 individuals in our county are experiencing food insecurity, so I'm always glad to see there's a lot of food pantries in our community. 509.7 county incidence rate for cancer per 100,000. Iowa average is 491.8. And then 161.2 county death rate from cancer, with which the averages of Iowa is 149.6. A valuable piece that we can look and see where we continue to trend year over year. So I always appreciate that IHSS gives us this, as well as an opportunity. Like we said, there's 5,500 people in our community with food insecurity, so definitely know where we want to put those priorities when we're working with our food pantries. So I also have an agenda item.
Okay. You mentioned mental health days.
Mm-hmm.
What's the definition of that?
So poor mental health is linked to smoking, inactivity, housing, food insecurity, disorders like depression and anxieties.
But I mean, a mental health day, is that people missing work or something because of mental?
So ill mental health days, missing work, or not able to participate in their usual routine.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Sharon Lasser, land use.
Morning. Well, I've been keeping busy overall at regional planning with a bunch of stuff going on right now. Grants due this time of year. Land use specifically, we got one minor subdivision up for review now. Most likely we'll have that to the board for next Tuesday. And there's just some other stuff out there that probably we'll see coming forward here within the next month or two, but nothing major. So.
Thank you, Jared. Fred Henkelbeck, Joint County Attorney's Office.
So, yeah, like everybody else, we're definitely keeping busy. Have a agenda item, or at least a work session item, to work with Imagine the Possibilities. Have handouts to give to you guys to have a good timeline, so we'll work with that when the time comes.
Which look forward to your handouts.
I'm sure.
Thank you. Sharon Bay, Moines County Budget Director.
So we have the budget statement mailings coming up shortly. Cities, counties, and schools have till 4 o'clock on Thursday, March 5th to have their data into the Department of Management. And then the deadline for mailing those statements is March 15th, and budget or the property tax hearings cannot be held until after March 20th. So just some deadlines coming up.
Our annual opportunity to confuse the hell out of taxpayers.
Good way to put it, yeah. That made up 10% increase that's in there, just to get everybody excited.
Chris Lee, Conservation.
Nothing nearly that exciting, for sure. We had a field day at Stars Cave over the weekend. We had, about a dozen people come out and cut invasive species off the hillside there, just west of the Nature Center. I came in yesterday morning, and I thought they had brought equipment up and down that hill. They removed so much stuff, but it was all done by hand. So I got to give the volunteers that showed up for that kudos. That was an impressive amount of work. And then we got together as a staff and did a staff work day yesterday. The whole team got together and we cut some more off there. So I'm a little sore. I'm not nearly as young and strong as what I used to be. All that office work doesn't really.
Life's hard.
Going up and down the But no, other than that, we're just getting ready to transition into spring mode with the weather forecast looking like maybe we're going to have a bit of an early spring. We are considering maybe opening the campsites a touch early, maybe try to capture some spring traffic as best we can. Other than that, we have our County Parks fundraising banquet on April 4th. So mark calendars for that. Saturday at Barn on the Ridge. That's the foundation's big annual banquet for us, fundraising banquet for us. I think 5-ish, 30 something.
Check our website.
Yeah, look on the website. Something like that in the evening. That's all.
Thank you, Chris. Natalie Stepner, Des Moines County Recorder.
Good morning. Just keeping busy as well. Nothing new to share with the board today.
Brooke Moreland, Veterans Administrator, VA.
Good morning. Nothing really new to report, just keeping busy.
Okay. And Brian Carter, Secondary Roads.
Good morning.
Batting cleanup.
Yeah. We do have a shouldering operation going on Danville Road, so, it was back up yesterday, I would say. We worked on that in the fall, and then we eventually got froze out, so people just need to be careful out there. It's a moving operation, so we have plenty of lights out there. There's a truck and 2 motor graders, and there's lights everywhere, but you don't put signs up because it's constantly in a different location. So we're shouldering out there, and then I'll keep going until they wrap that up. Our contract rock haul is done out of the northern part of the county, and they've moved to the southern quarry, and they started that up today. That won't take very long down there. I would think they'll be done this week, depending on weather. Not nearly as many miles of road to cover down there. And then we actually started our own county rocking program up. I'm not sure where they started on that. They'll just ease into that. We'll play the weather every single day on that, and so we don't tear roads up. Good to get a little bit of moisture. And went to a legislative forum on Saturday morning at 11 at Wapello. Wasn't much for attendance. I was a little surprised. They said they had come from Wilton, and it was a packed house up there. But in Wapello, and I've seen it packed in Wapello before, but it was, I don't know, might have been a half dozen people there, give or take. So,
Did you get there first?
I didn't get there first, no.
Okay.
But no, so went there, and they're open ears to anybody and everything. There's obviously a lot of stuff going on. Definitely need to be paying attention to the property tax stuff. There's no question about it. Seems to be a constant message from them about, but they're not organized between the House, Senate, and the governor for sure. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. But it does not sound like they've made a ton of headway, but they're at least talking about it at the moment, as opposed to a week ago when they were still working towards the first funnel. It was pretty much just kind of dead in the water as far as thought process. So, anyway, plenty of stuff going on. We'll just keep on moving. But yeah,
You said you're going to Danville Road?
we are
Did you?
just north of Danville at the
Yeah.
moment.
Is that a recliner to sit alongside the road? Is that for you to sit in so you can?
Yes. That's for the county engineer inspection purposes.
That's what I wondered. I seen
And
that.
if I want, there's a mattress down by Tama Road if I get tired.
Well, and then there's a water closet sitting there going out to the highway.
They're all
the other
stamped.
way.
Property of
Yeah.
secondary roads.
Well, what sucks is if I want to use the bathroom, there's a toilet, as of Friday, there was a toilet down along West Avenue on the shoulder.
Is
So
that,
it's a
there's
long
one
ways to
down there
drive.
too?
Well, we could, if you're remodeling, there are some options out there. Yeah, we're aware of that, Jim. We just we've been keeping things moving so fast, we haven't had anybody get there.
Well, I really thought it was for you to go out and sit
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Just an idea might make an interesting picture for the newspaper.
County engineer's lazy boy on shoulder road. So, yeah, I don't know, it must be spring clean in some houses or something, but there have been a few more things show up with the nice weather, I guess that's what I'll say. So, that's all I have, thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, we'll proceed to discussion and vote.
You're welcome.
This would be thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else want to?
Please.
You want one, Frank, or-
Thank you.
I have extras if anybody wants them. So basically, it's that time to set the time and date for the public hearing for this mailer that we're gonna do. So these handouts basically show you where we're at right now on the budget. And then you guys have to decide if those levy rates that are on the sheet are what you want me to publish on with the Department of Management on Thursday and then send to the papers on Friday, so. Sure. So basically, the way we're sitting right now, there's just a slight decrease in the levy rate. We're looking at an overall fund balance of 21.22%. General basic, which is the fund we worry the most about probably, would have an ending fund balance of $591,280. We know that typically we come out in better shape than that because our department heads give back some of their budget money, and there's grants that they don't know they're gonna get that help bring in more revenue. And
I was asked that exact same question at the last public hearing. Somebody noticed that our general fund balance has gone down. Of course, a lot of that was the ARPA, that American Rescue Plan funds had been spent, and we no longer showed that income from the hospital that never was imaginary. And I think last year our budgeted ending balance was about 6%, and one or two people were worried about that. And I explained that that's the one fund that varies because almost all the income goes into it. Most of the expenses, all the payroll, everything comes out of that. And so there's usually, we spend less than that, and we always take in over the time I've been here. And so, and I assured them that I was willing to bet anything that at the end of the year, 6 months from now, it would be a 20% ending balance at least at the first re-estimated at the end of the year. It was already up over 16%. So we've seen a lot worse a number of years ago. So yeah, this looks fine to me. Once we approve this, it can't go up. The levy could go down, but it can't go up. So I'm comfortable with this.
I move to approve, thank you, Joe.
Okay, well, I'm good with that. Can you amend that to approve that and set the date for the public hearing? We got to be it resolved, the Board of Supervisors hereby fixes the time and place for a public hearing on the proposed property tax levy public hearing for Tuesday, March 31st, 2026 at 9 a.m. in the boardroom at the Des Moines County Courthouse. The Des Moines County Budget Director is hereby directed to publish a notice and estimated summary as required by law. Approved this third day of March 2026. Second, Sarah.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Okay, we have resolution 2026-15 on the acquisition or development for outdoor recreation. I suspect Mr. Lee has some information about this.
Yeah, so this is a standard procedure we have to follow to apply for a land and water conservation fund. We are applying to do more paving up a Big Hollow, do more ADA campsites, get more paving put down some of the campsites up there. We're using our REAP funds and funds in our foundation as match for a land and water conservation fund grant. Because it's a federal grant, they make you jump through all the hoops and get the resolutions from the board. So I'll need one from this board, get one from my board tomorrow night at our board meeting, and then that grant application will be put in this week. See if we're successful, and if we are, we'll be hopefully doing some more campsite paving later this year.
How many campsites will that bring you up to then, Chris?
We'll have to bid it out, so I guess we'll see what we can afford, and if we get full funding, our target is to try to do, I think, 6 to 10, depending on what our funding looks like.
Thanks, Chris.
Move to approve.
Second, Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Good luck, Chris.
Thanks.
It'll be nice. It's amazing how much cement pads help on rental, isn't it?
Well, you know, just from an accessibility perspective,
Yeah.
you know, somebody getting in and out, and, you know, not having to worry about loose rock underfoot or, you know, the dogs tracking in rock and stuff from the outside. Yeah, more is not. It makes it a better experience all the way around.
Yeah.
We have accounts payable claims in the amount of $525,679.93.
Move to approve.
Second, Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. And we have payroll reimbursement claims in the amount of $215.66 and non-cash taxable claims in the amount of $27.34.
Move to approve.
Second, Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We have a letter of resignation from the Des Moines County Board of Health. Dear Krista, please accept my resignation from the Des Moines County Board of Health effective immediately due to health concerns. It has become impossible for me to attend the meetings and participate effectively. Thank you for choosing me to have me as a member of the board. It has been my pleasure. Respectfully submitted, Ann Fedler, as we know, Ann passed away. And so take a motion to approve the
Move to approve.
letter. Second, Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes.
She was a good asset to the board too.
She was.
Very good.
And as we all knew her as Mrs. Fedler, because she was a nursing instructor for SCC and really was an instructor for a lot of the nurses in the community. She had so much expertise that she brought to the board and just a wealth of knowledge in healthcare. So we were really sad to lose her from the board, as well as then obviously we recently lost her. She passed away a week ago, so it's unfortunate, but we appreciate all that she did for the board.
But simultaneously, we already have an appointment to the Des Moines County Board of Health. Dear members of the board, I am writing to express my strong interest in joining the Des Moines County Board of Health with a robust background in public service, public management, and faith-based community development, coupled with extensive experience in healthcare financing and delivery. I am deeply committed to community service and eager to contribute to your esteemed organization. Throughout my career, I have embraced a variety of leadership roles, from serving as a U.S. Congressional Fellow and a Presidential Management Fellow for the HHS Office of the U.S. Surgeon General, Assistant Secretary of Health during my law school years, to my recent position as Assistant Deputy Commissioner at the New York City Department of Human Resources amid the challenges of the COVID-19 crisis. With decades of progressive executive leadership experience across faith-based initiatives, social services, healthcare, community development, federal and state government, and the nonprofit sector, I am dedicated to making a meaningful impact. My personal journey from growing up in foster care within the public housing of Brooklyn ignites my passion for transforming the lives of vulnerable populations, especially children and families facing poverty and individuals with disabilities. As a liberation theologian, human rights advocate, and supporter of the Health Care for All movement, I have honed skills in strategic planning, financial oversight, governance, and healthcare finance. I am enthusiastic about the opportunity to leverage my expertise to advance your mission and support the board's strategic initiatives toward continued success. Thank you for considering my application. I look forward to the possibility of contributing to the health and well-being of Des Moines County. Sincerely, the Right Reverend Dr. Floyd R. Blair, Pastor, First United Church of Christ, Burlington, Iowa.
Move approved.
Second.
Chris, thanks for doing that. Appreciate that, absolutely.
I'm excited about Reverend Blair joining our Board of Health. He has such a wide experience of expertise, having been with HHS and the U.S. Surgeon General. I mean, I think he's just done a lot in his past experience. And I do want to add that if anyone's ever interested in future positions on the Board of Health, the Board of Health website, the Moines County Board of Health, has an application for anyone who wants to put their name in for future openings that would then be considered for the Board of Health. But I always encourage people, if that has an interest that they want to do, to submit those applications.
Thank you from the board. Did you make a motion?
Yes.
Second. Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. And we have abundance resignations. Appointments. We have a resignation from Flint River Township. Dear Ms. Doty, the Flint River Township trustees held a duly noticed meeting on February 26, 2026 with all trustees present. At that meeting, Clerk Cody Piper informed the board that he has submitted his resignation to your office due to his relocation outside of Des Moines County. Following discussion, the trustees voted to recommend that okay, I guess this has got both of them.
Yep, so
No, the first one's
both there's two resignations and they're both in that same email.
okay.
Cody's is attached behind it. And then the second one, the second
Okay, the
agenda item
appointment.
is them
Okay.
appointing.
Following discussion, the trustees voted to recommend that I, Douglas W. Beckman, be appointed to fill the township clerk vacancy. In connection with this recommendation, I hereby formally state my intent to vacate my position as trustee for Flint River Township, contingent upon my appointment as township clerk. Upon such appointment, the trustee position I currently hold will become vacant. The trustees further voted to recommend that Matthew Trexel be appointed to fill the resulting trustee vacancy. We respectfully request that this matter be reviewed and presented to the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors for consideration and formal action. The township's next scheduled meeting is March 16th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m., at which time the trustees intend to approve the upcoming fiscal year budget. Please advise if any additional documentation is required. Thank you for your assistance. And then the letter from Cody Piper. I have informed the other trustees I have purchased a house in Lee County and am living there now full-time, so I will have to step down. I have asked them if they know of anyone to take my spot. What else do I need to do? This is from Cody Piper, his resignation. So I would entertain a motion to accept both resignations.
Move to approve both resignations.
Second, Sarah.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes.
I believe one of the bills being discussed as a way with township trustees. I don't know if it's Senate or House or both, but I believe there is a conversation being had about eliminating all of that. Strong stance for local control yet again.
Old saying, lives and property. Neither life nor property is safe when the legislature is in session. Okay, we have a township officials request for appointment. To the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors, I am requesting your approval to be appointed to fulfill the remainder of a 4-year term expiring December 31st, 2026. Flint River Township Clerk, thank you, Doug Beckman, Prairie Grove Road. Entertain a motion to approve the appointment.
So move.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did you have anything to say?
No, no.
Okay,
Mr. Beckman would do well in that.
thank you. Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. You're out of my eyesight, you're gonna have to make noise.
And that's appointing both Doug and Matt Trexel. Did you see the second one in there?
No. Oh, they're different. Okay, I thought it was a duplicate. Okay.
Yep, sorry.
We've got a appointment, the same appointment for, Clinton River Township trustee, Matt Trexel, for a term expiring December 31st, 2026. I would entertain a motion to approve Mr. Trexel's.
Move to approve.
Second. Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Don't tell Matt I missed him.
That might cost you.
Well, he's not the fire chief anymore. I get along pretty well with Nathan, so obviously. We have, in the spirit of the day, we have a resignation from the Cobco board. Board, please accept my letter of resignation to the Cobco board. Cobco is the city county health insurance board. It has been a pleasure to serve on the board over the last 5 years, and I appreciate the opportunity. With my job duties changing over the years, I feel that our payroll deputy best fits that position. I have recommended Wayne Lutnager to replace me on the Cobco board. Thank you all for your time. What do you think? Should we let her,
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about that.
I'll still attend the meetings, I just won't be sitting up top.
I don't mind, I sit next to her, I can sit next to Wayne.
You didn't say her name.
What, Sarah Doty, didn't I?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Move to approve.
second. Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. I've forgotten how this chair works.
Don't feel bad.
Okay, we've got a resolution 2026-16 appointing Wayne Lutnager to Cobco board. Resolution 2026-16, whereas the current trustee Sarah Doty, appointed by the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors, has resigned from the trustee board, whereas the Board of Supervisors recommends Wayne Lutnager to fill the trustee position on Cobco's Board of Trustees as Des Moines County's representative, and further be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors hereby appoints Wayne Lutnager to serve as a trustee on the Cobco Board of Trustees until further notice. Approved and adopted on this third day of March 2026.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yeah, whatever. Does Lane know she has to sit next to me?
Not yet.
Really want to talk to her.
Surprise, surprise. Okay. We have personnel actions. We have 5 from the Correctional Center. I will go through them individually here. Give them apart. We have Ryan. There's a Ryan.
Correct, Ryan.
Ryan. We have Ryan Anderson. Unpaid time 22.85 hours. We have Ryan Anderson. A 12-month step increase. The previous rate was $51,364.11. The new rate is $52,662.04. We have Vincent Robbins, full-time correctional officer, an anniversary 6-month step increase. Previous rate was $50,072.77. The new rate is $51,364.11. We have Mason Boyer, part-time correctional officer, 6-month step increase. The previous rate was $18.58 an hour. The new rate is $21 an hour. Part-time cook Allison Moody, 6-month step increase. It's a cook, previous rate was $16.80, the new rate is $17.10 an hour.
Move to approve all 5 of them.
Second, Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We have minutes for the regular meeting of February 24th, 2026.
Move to approve.
Second, Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Future agenda items. I have none. Committee reports. We had one, we both attended the conference board meeting, and we passed a proposed budget for the assessor and set up a public hearing date for the budget. The conference board is the governing board for the assessor, and it's comprised of all the 3 votes. All the mayors is 1 vote, all the school districts is the 2nd vote, and the board of supervisors is the 3rd vote. And they hire and fire the assessor, and approve the budget, and that sort of thing.
We didn't fire him.
What?
I said, we did. Lori looked at me like that, I said, we didn't fire him.
No. We passed his budget and set a date for a public hearing. That's all I have. Before we start public hearing, I didn't bring my phone in here. There's something I want to read. I don't think this is anyway, the board of supervisors got an email from AES that I wanted to read into the record. And it contains information that I've been getting in emails from any number of people. To the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors, I am writing to reaffirm AES's long-standing commitment to Des Moines County and to share an important updating regarding our company that I wanted you to hear directly from me. This morning, we announced, and I'll send this to the press, there's a link there, maybe you already have it, I don't know. Anyway, that AES has agreed to be acquired and will begin the process of becoming a privately held company. This announcement represents a strategic step that will allow us to continue investing for the long term to better meet the needs of our customers with reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy solutions. The consortium of investors acquiring AES is led by Global Infrastructure Partners, GIP, a part of BlackRock, and EQT Infrastructure 6 Fund, along with co-underwriters California Public Employees Retirement System, CalIFERS, and Qatar Investment Authority. I want to emphasize that while our ownership structure is changing, our commitments to our values, employees, customers, and the communities we serve are not. We remain committed to supporting the state's energy and economic development goals by delivering reliable energy solutions that create jobs and generate long-term investment in local communities. The consortium has deep experience investing in energy infrastructure businesses, and with its support, AES will have improved access to capital to invest in critical energy infrastructure assets, deliver reliable energy solutions for customers, and create long-term value for all stakeholders, including our workforce and local communities. This transaction is expected to close in late 2026 or early 2027, subject to approval by AES stockholders, the receipt of applicable federal, state, and foreign regulatory approvals, and the satisfaction of other customary closing conditions. As we work through the process, we will remain an independent public company and we will be operating as usual. AES's long-standing commitment to Des Moines County is reflected in our continued partnership, investment, and shared progress. We are building a diversified and resilient energy portfolio that strengthens the state's energy reliability and brings benefits to local communities. We are proud of all that we have accomplished alongside Des Moines County and the communities where we operate. We do not expect there to be an impact on our operations in the state as a result of the transaction, and we look forward to continuing to work with you and local communities to strengthen Des Moines County and energy security and stability. We will continue to share updates on this process as appropriate, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself. Thank you for your continued support of AES. We view this transaction as a strong strategic opportunity, and as a private company, we will better position to accelerate the future of energy while continuing to deliver reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy solutions. Sincerely, A.V. Sorrell. Of all the emails we've been getting over the last months, a number of people that emailed that said that they were going to be acquired, or that they had financial, and it's probably a good time to clear up a misconception. That doesn't affect the ordinance. The ordinance is dealing with any developer. We don't have anything to do with AES. They have not applied for a permit. They've been getting leases apparently in the northwest corner of the county, but we have required surety bonds and insurance, and whoever a developer might be or might not be, the ordinance applies to them in the same manner. So this is just, I'm quite confident I will be receiving emails on this when it comes out, but this just came late yesterday afternoon or last night, so I wanted to read that so everybody's aware. And I think I have you guys' email address. If I don't, I'll get it after.
Jim sent
Did okay, perfect. So, with that said, it's time for public comment. Anyone with any questions may call during the meeting, may call the Board of Supervisors at 319-753-8282. That's 319-753-8282, or email the Board of Supervisors at board@dmcounty.com. That's board@dmcounty.com. We'll give you 2 minutes to initiate that call or email. In the meantime, if anybody would like, in attendance would like to speak up, you can have a couple minutes.
So, I've got a question about your board and committee appointments. Do you have any kind of process? How does the public know that there might be a vacancy, and to what the process would be? Because it's the impression I've got so far, whenever you have someone who resigns from a board, it's on that same agenda with a replacement. So how does the public find out that there might be an opening? Do you have any kind of do you have an application? Is there an application file? How do you let the public know so that they can participate?
Okay, you might have answers better. Each of those,
Each are different.
Each are different, and they have you can find it on the county website, the information about those, but you go ahead,
So like with townships, the townships are responsible for their own. So if they usually have a meeting and they'll discuss, and they usually have somebody else in mind. There's not a lot of options usually of people that are banging down the doors wanting to do that. So they usually have people in mind to take their spot when it comes up. As far as like Board of Health, things like that, I think similar instance when they come in and discuss that, hey, I'm no longer here, but I know somebody else who may be interested, and then they put their letter in for approval. Do you guys publish anything at your, no?
We don't, we actually, like I said, we have the application on our website, and to date, I did not have any applications. I know, Reverend Blair, who I've worked with on a lot of committees and things, they host a lot of things for the community, and so, you know, he has had interest in the position, so. But yes, I always encourage anyone who's interested in future positions to go ahead and submit an application, but we had not received any other applications.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Quite a bunch. We're 2 minutes up. Okay, with an eye, we're out of here. All right. Aye. We are adjourned. representatives out there that are about to introduce themselves.
I'm Todd Swifer.
Stephanie Cox.
And I'm president of the Hope Haven Foundation and also on the Imagine board.
Okay, we're discussing properties. Who wants to take the floor? Trent or?
I will go ahead and start out. So, one of the things that the reason we set this one is we wanted to go through, the procedure for the sale of this property. I know we talked about wanting a realtor instead, anybody else want?
Thanks, sir.
Okay. So, we talked about, both Imagine as well as the board had expressed an interest in not just selling, these properties, but also in doing it with a realtor. So, it's like, let's look at this to see what's the process. Normally when we dispose of real property, we've used various forms of auctions, be it silent, be it sheriffs, be it online, I mean, just various forms. So it's a little bit different in that in order to dispose of real property, we have to make sure that's at fair market value. So whenever you have an auction, there's this legal presumption that, whatever the price is, that's the fair market value. So if we want to use a realtor, we'll have to establish fair market value. So to go through kind of the procedure steps, I think in order to establish who would get that listing, we would want to do a request for proposal of services. So there's two forms, you can either do formal or informal. An informal would involve just noticing 3 separate realtors within the area, or real estate companies within the area, or brokers, and requesting a proposal from them. Or we could do a formal one, which would be publishing a request. You can still send out individual packets, but we'd also publish. It's really the big difference. And then see who responds. And then once those respond, just like anything, any other request for service, any contract, anything like that. So that's the first step of the process. At the same time, I think we should get an appraisal. That way we can say, hey, this is the fair market value, and we'll have to, you don't have to set a minimum price for that. However you want to work that with the realtor, you set, as far as what bid or, what's going to be the asking price, listing price. All of that can be set up once you have that individual realtor in place. And then the next step, we'll just get in the resolution process, just like normal. We do a resolution of intent to dispose, setting public hearing, then we publish the notice. Once that's done, we have the public hearing, a resolution authorizing the sale of the property. And then at that time, and so that'd be, and also the listing, right, would be part of that resolution for sale. And then, once we get an offer in, that we're willing, that's within the criteria, then we'd have a resolution accepting the final sale. So it's a little bit different, but very similar. So I guess, what questions does anybody have?
I guess and Ruth's been here before, Tom, Stephanie, I don't know if you have the problem or the issue here is the county can't just give property away to anything in the private sector. There are off rounds on that. So we can sell it and donate the money where it was originally donated to. And so I suppose now we're looking at what do we think's best, getting a realtor or having an auction?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys
Is that the
want,
first question?
yeah, if you guys, however you wanna dispose of the property, it's up to you guys. And we can put it into the resolution. I think if you wanna dispose of it via a realtor or real estate brokerage, however you wanna call that, I think we wanna have things done in advance as far as requests for, proposal for services. And then get an appraisal as well that way. And I don't know the cost of an appraisal. We're talking 3 vacant lots, so that should be fairly inexpensive, I think. I don't know how much it would cost to get an appraisal of,
Are we talking about the whole thing, or would be individual, or we, right now, are we talking about where the, that recycling
Right,
center is sitting on now? We aren't so much talking about those other lots.
and the 3 lots.
My personal
Yeah.
thought is that where that, recycling center is, that would probably go best with a realtor, because he would reach out to people. It's, when we sold the old public health building,
Mhm.
we talked about it, and we were afraid if you have an auction, or you're, and nobody shows up, the guy that's there says, oh, I'll give you $5,000. And you've announced the auction, or, so, and that's, and we ended up putting a minimum bid on that and having it, because of that. We just wanted, we had received very little interest in it, and we could kind of envision people showing up. There are contractors, it's hard to be a secret, that will go to a bid letting, and they have 2 bids in their pocket. And they'll get there an hour early. And if nobody shows up, they give you their favorite bid. If somebody else shows up, then they give you their competitive bid. So, and that was our concern, but I would think that a realtor would know, because I would think that, at least that's my opinion, on the vacant lots. I don't know, would those be building lots, or would, you might get some interest, people wanting to, use those for development, but I don't know, maybe a realtor would have, well, I'm sure they would have a better idea than I do.
I mean, they're residential lots, so
Yeah.
if they were sold, an individual could come in and build a house.
Yeah.
What's GIS got them, what's GIS got them for? Did you check that out?
I do not know what the assessor's office has
Should be
down.
one, see what the assessor's office got on them, cause it should be pretty close to what appraisal value will be on them.
I've got down here, we did an appraisal in 23 on 19 Douglas Avenue and 1804 Douglas Avenue.
Are those the individual lots?
1819 is across the street.
Okay, that's not, it's just 1804.
Correct.
So that's the 101.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one came back, the subject's current assessment is at 101,900, which is in line with the market value found in this report. I would just tell you that I did talk to somebody from Fort Madison, I think his name was Patel, who owned a can redemption center there probably 6 to 8 months ago. He looked at buying this when we didn't know all of this was an issue. I won't quote him, but I got the feeling $60,000 would be the most that he would consider to buy that based on his business there and what he's making. So that just gives you an idea from the market, but that's just one person, and that's the only person that we talk to.
Sure.
That's the building that.
The can redemption.
The can redemption?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So.
That does not include them lots that goes with it.
Correct, correct. It does not. Right.
So that's where we should start to find out what the assessors got them on, because that's gonna have a big question about what they're gonna be worth.
Not that it I kind of agree with you, Shane, that the getting a realtor, I think the auction.
I'm Tom. Oh, I didn't change the, Shane's
I can't handle that
out
kind of
sick
change
today.
this early in the morning.
Okay, well, I didn't change the signs.
I think the realtor is the way to go, just my personal opinion, we've had good luck with that. We've worked with Tiffany Brockway, I believe, down here. Tiffany's familiar with the properties. I don't know anybody else or I would name them, but, I think they move quickly. And Stephanie said some of the lots that we had in the past went very quickly when someone else bought them and they built houses on those. So we would anticipate that you would get something for those lots for building lots.
I just looked up on GIS real quick, it shows a 2025 assessed values, exempt value 7,100. Full value 7,100 for each one of those, 3 empty lots.
Okay. If we get a realtor, we can't just pick one out. We have to get, quotes or estimates or.
Yeah, we'll follow that process, so looking at the state administrative board's kind of requirement, which is a good guide for us, because they have, we have each the same rules. So for the informal bid, so you gotta locate the name and address of at least 3 firms or individuals that could provide the service. If we cannot find at least 3, which that's not good, there's more than 3 realtors in the area. Prepare a solicitation document, which includes the scope of the work, describing the type of services required, include proposed project schedule, and for us, I think, part of the discussion is, how long do we want to, if we're asking somebody to list it, do we want it listed? I know this was kind of briefly mentioned a couple weeks ago. Do we want to give them a 6-month listing, a 1 year? I think that's typical, to have listing time periods of up to a year, but sometimes less. Where if you list it with somebody, say, hey, you can have the listing exclusive for 6 months. And if you don't sell it within that period of time, then
I wouldn't go over 6 months.
okay. So post notices of solicitation website for 48 hours before we send and contact the 3 vendors we've identified. So we'll still have to post it on our website. Contact prospective service providers. You may contact them via phone, fax, email, letter. Document the time and date the written responses are received. Evaluate the responses and determine which services providers propose the most, then prepare the contract and go through that process. So it would be very similar to what we're doing if we're bidding out, say, the steps, right? We bid somebody out to do the steps, any time, or in the concrete, right? Very similar to that process. At that point, it's very similar to that. Especially because this isn't ongoing services, it's a specific service.
What are you gonna base the selection on?
Well, we'll have to set the criteria, and so we'll
It shouldn't be too hard to get most realtors would be familiar with that type of the request.
Yeah,
We should be able to get some standardized forms and say, yeah, we need this, we need that, we need that.
Yes, yeah, and so yeah, we can go through, and a lot of, I think, when you get into the real estate realm, short of brokerage, real estate brokers, I think a lot of that's just statutory, right? Like they can only charge so much, and that's what they charge. They can go down from that. So really, I think part of the difference comes in what services. So we know when we contact a company that's an auction house, right? They're going to say, hey, we'll provide you with X amount of advertising for this property, but I think the actual reimbursement schedule is pretty much statutorily set. I don't believe that changes. So one of the things that may be variable, and they can come down from the statutory amount, or they can, say, hey, we're going to have 20 open houses with 99 red balloons. I don't know. But, you know, they can offer more services, and a lot of the times that would be, you know, paid advertisement for the property. Or it could be more open houses. I'm not an expert in picking realtors at all, to be honest.
Would a request for an appraisal be part of that scope that in your, if you want to sell this building, if you'd like to be the realtor, you know, you have to give us, you know, what the, your charges would be and an appraisal? Just include that in the, and then you can.
Yeah, we could definitely do that, and, a lot of times when we see like formal appraisals, and you were just talking about, you know, sometimes we'll get some of those commercial formal appraisals, $5,000 to $10,000. I mean, some of them are expensive, and I don't think we need to get into that because it's not, it doesn't need to be formal. It could be just somebody coming in and giving us an appraisal of fair market value. So we might not need to go through all the different appraisal methods. They could just look at comparables or, you know, how, so yeah, but we could definitely put that in there, yes.
How about if we have a request for a proposal of realtors and send all the realtors, local realtors in town that are intent to sell this, and we want a proposal from them and give them a couple of weeks to get it back to us on selling this property, because each one of them is gonna appraise it. Then we can look at that and see where we're at with what GIS has it appraised at, and go from there. And then we give everybody a fair chance.
Yeah, I mean.
And that's the simplest way, because you're gonna give, I don't know if you can get Vanguard to appraise that for $5,000. And you got somebody that was looking at it for 6,000 or 60,000. You know, that's too much money to be spending on somebody, a formal appraiser, when every realtor in this town has somebody that can appraise that.
Okay. I like that.
That's my thought.
So I guess you're putting in, you're saying putting in our request for proposal form, we ask that they give us their
As part of the proposal.
as part of their proposal,
You know,
their
appraisal of the
value.
selling price or value, or however you want to phrase it.
Yep.
If you guys got any ideas, throw them in here. You don't have real estate experts.
Well, I know, talking to a realtor recently, she was just willing to come and do an appraisal for free. To, you know, and I'm not like best friends or anything, you know, but no, she said she would just come and do that. So I think that would be reasonable to include that with the bid, I mean, with the proposal.
If you're looking at a 2,000 square foot lot or something, you aren't looking at a 25 square foot home with with an attached 3-car garage and a gazebo in the back.
Yeah, it's a very big difference too, and you know, so yeah, I think that's very appropriate too, but that's just my limited experience with it too, so.
I would just mention the word appraisal and assessment, I think, are getting intertwined here, but I think if you say you have to get an appraisal from a realtor, they're gonna have to technically go out and get an appraisal. I mean, they're gonna have to pay for that. Or if you said a non-marketable assessment or something to that term, or work off the assessed, you know, price or something like that, I think that keeps it a little less formal and less opportunity to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You might guess.
Yeah, that's probably true, difference.
Makes sense.
I agree with you, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if they have one from 2023, I mean, we can use that as a base too. mean, really, technically, that's,
Well, the one they got for 2023 is from Tiffany Rockaway, right?
This is from Raleigh Appraisal out of the Quad Cities, which is.
Raleigh Appraisal.
They have the view, you know, they're Quad Cities, that's who we normally use, yeah.
Well, that's something to go on, but
oh, so you had other properties baked in, so.
There's two properties in that one, yeah.
1804 would be the.
Yeah,
I'd like to move on it pretty fast to get this all resolved.
sure. So I think as far as the intent, because you guys both, I think, said you wanted to move quickly. You know, they've definitely said they want to move quickly. Would be to get the request for proposal, bring that in, vote on that next week. Along with, I had in my notes, at least in my head, that we would ask for an appraisal of some sort at that time. But I think we can do it. And this is dated October 2024. So we're within less than 2 years. So really, if you would be willing to provide us with that, if the board,
You have it.
Okay.
We'll charge you later.
There you go, thank you. So, if you're willing to rely on that, we could use that. And we could also ask that the realtors give us an assessed value in the request for, proposal or request for services in their,
Canberra will appraise a piece of property, like Rodney said, that's, the assessor has it $7,100. That's, gonna cost, they're gonna charge us a few $100s for it anyway. Or something like that, just to go out there and look.
This is the assessor's page on the website, so.
so the assessors have it at 141,000.
That's the one that has the recycling center on it.
Yeah.
This is the,
yeah, that's
1804
recycling.
Douglas Avenue.
Yeah.
So you're saying you had an offer at 60, but it's.
Well, I think he said that was the most he'd pay for it.
Yes.
And is that for that one over there, the
Yes.
recycling center, that's what he paid for that one?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and lots in Burlington are kind of unique because he looks at segments and then it's based on other empty lots. Anyways, so yeah, so it's, but I think we could,
Is it these ones?
How big are those lots, square foot?
Is it two north, is it the one you
There's
saw?
three now.
There's three.
More ones.
Yeah, this one. So like all these look like they're the same.
Square foot are they?
Something right there.
It says-
The 1804.
if you go down, all the way down, and click on assessor's information, it'll give you a little spreadsheet looking thing. Oh,
I'm showing 4640 for square.
there you go, property
Okay,
report.
okay. Is that for the small lots or that's for the recycling center?
That's a small one.
Small
40
lot,
by
okay.
120.
Measure right on the screen.
This is the lot.
What's the measurement of that?
Vacant lot.
40 feet by 120, how big are we?
43 by 120.
40, I think it's 40 by 120.
4,800.
Yeah, oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, 4,800.
That's the vacant lot.
They weren't very wide lots.
No,
If you bought all three.
All these look to be about the same.
yeah.
Or if the neighbor there wanted to buy them.
But if you look across the street, there's homes,
Just
in
sold
those-
one like that.
there's homes in those.
Yeah.
Across the street, like one's a double lot, some of them are double lots.
Yeah.
Some of them are not, so yeah.
There's kind of an alley right on the back side of that just goes right into that parking lot. So
I would assume that
that's a little different.
if you say you sell these 4 lots or whatever it is, that they would have an idea, the the realtor, speak of the devil, that the realtor would have an idea whether, you know, there's worth more if you combine these two lots.
I agree.
And had some advice on that. Isn't that right, Matt?
Oh, sure, you said so. I mean, I was listening a little bit on the conversation, about, I guess you're trying to determine the value of these properties,
Well, no, we're talking about getting a realtor, and we don't want to pay to have an appraisal. But when we got a proposal from the realtor, ask them to include their assessed valuation, you know, what they think the property's worth.
like a market analysis.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that is different than a full-blown appraisal.
Yeah,
It's an opinion of value, basically.
that's what we want. We don't want to pay for an appraisal.
Generally, yeah, I mean, a commercial appraisal on that would be thousands, maybe, I don't know, depending on how you get it. I mean, as far as how we arrive at these values, though, I mean, we look at vacant lot sales and try to, you know, apply those sales to other vacant lots. So, I mean, just north of there was a couple lots that sold, that are double lots, sold for about 25,000. So, yeah, I don't know where you guys are at. I mean, our assessed value, the goal of our office is to put fair market value on the property. So whatever that value is our determination of what the market value of that property is.
What's the valuation of that Canton Center itself, just that?
141,000.
That was this information here.
I thought that was going across the road.
No, that's the.
If you go back to that first screen you're on, right?
This is the Redemption Center address. And that's the recent one.
If you go back to that first screen with the map. Yeah, and then scroll down over there where the picture is, to the right.
Here?
Yeah, so we have no value assessed because it's not taxable, but you can see that exempt amount there. That's essentially what our assessed value is. It's just exempt, so it shows up there. And like the lots above it would show, I think, 7,100 a piece. Yep.
So I think I'm picking up this, we're gonna send we come up with a request for proposal for these properties, to sell those properties, and that your RFP includes your, what'd you call it, estimated market value, or?
Yeah. I mean, that's what a generally realtor would call that instead of an appraisal. It's just a
estimated market value of those properties individually or in their entirety, and send it out to
Realtors in town.
realtors in town
Local realtors.
or in Des Moines County, I suppose.
You probably just send it to the Board of Realtors office and they can disseminate it.
That'll work. Same with
So-
postage.
How will you make the selection of which realtor to choose? So let's say you get, I don't know, 4 or 5 realtor offices. So you get Century 21, Remax, and so let's say you get 5 of them, and they say, our opinion of probable value on the Canton Redemption Center is 141.9. Another one says it's 141.8. Are you holding them to that? Of this is how much you're going to sell it for?
But I don't think you can
No,
hold
you
to an
can't do
estimated
that.
market value.
No.
So then, what's the actual selection criteria? So you have all these side by side, and you gotta pick one. What's the criteria for what you're gonna pick them on? Because they're gonna want to be very, very clear on that, and I think the states, and because every time we do a bid process at my department, we always get emails later on. Sarah gets them too. Oh, we want to know how you did this bid process,
What was the revaluation of the?
and what did you do to select the contractor? So
They
if you
actually
get
have a percentage of what they're gonna.
And I assume that it'll be partly on the percentage of what they get, but that's not gonna vary very much, I would guess.
no, it's not
Some of them are gonna be the same,
right. you're gonna have a lot of them come in at whatever, 3 and 4%, this is our commission for whatever we sell it for. You know, unless they're willing to commit to a sale price, or, you
I
know,
don't
in
think
X
you
number
get
of
a
time.
commit sale price, but
Yeah.
they think it's worth more than what you do, then I'm gonna go with you. Because you're gonna try harder to get that price out of it.
If I know that's the selection criteria, I'll just come in and say,
That's-
my
that's-
opinion, the probable
that's
cost
pretty-
is 500,000.
That's pretty subjective, I
get
don't think.
Yeah,
But Chris brings up a good point, you have to have some sort of a
So,
evaluation criteria.
Yeah, so if we wanna have an evaluation criteria other than lowest bidder, then we have to put an evaluation criteria in writing, and then that would be sent out with the request for proposal packet. So they will know. Now, and like I said, there's not gonna be a lot of variability in what they'll charge, it'll probably be pretty standardized. But there will be there could be some variability. The other thing is number of showings. And I was joking about the red balloons on it, but, I'm not entirely joking about that concept. You know, how much are they willing to put into advertising this property? How many times are they willing to have open houses, or how, you know, how are they willing to help us dispose of this property? Or so we can come up with some things like that we want to be part of that criteria.
Somebody mentioned that, you know, that they would have exclusive rights for a year or 6 months or something like that. You could put that in there and lean toward the person that says I can get rid of it in 6 months versus the person that says I can get rid of it in a year. That could be one of the criteria maybe, and that might not vary very much. And I experience, if you put that in there, that'd be pretty subjective.
It's all gonna be subjective, you're not gonna avoid having to make a decision, you just gotta pick a course, put some stuff in, let them put together their best foot, and then just make a decision.
You could say they could have, you know, minimum 1 year experience or something like that, but there again, I mean, somebody can move in from somewhere else and have more experience. I don't know, I open it up to everybody.
Well, you might want to put something like that in there because they've got experience here locally rather than somebody that's got years and years of experience, but they're from Peoria or Des Moines.
so then it becomes, Trent, correct me if I'm wrong, it becomes more of an RFQ than it's a request for qualifications, the way you would like hiring an engineering firm, where you're assessing them on experience and capabilities. So
I mean,
you're looking at these realtors of how many commercial properties have you sold in the last year? What, you know,
Yeah.
what's the value of commercial properties that you sold last year, and you weigh them against that, and you're looking for the firm that has the most experience and the most capability of offloading commercial real estate.
So that would be, you could put that in a request for proposal. I think it doesn't need to be just a request for qualifications, you know, said, you know, please respond, you know, with what it's gonna cost, what, with your estimate of the market value, your experience in Des Moines County, you know, commercial or residential, real estate, length of years and something like that. Just put other stuff in there that you could hang your hat on, but give you an idea of who you're dealing with.
Yeah. I mean, you can have a reputation score. Now, that can't be the only thing, right? But that can definitely be added in there, and then that encompasses, you know, all of that. And that's gonna come from the experience of board members, recommendations from other people in the room. But that's a very subjective thing. If you put in a reputation score, and it can't be well, you probably don't want it to be the only thing, right?
I hate to keep dominating the conversation here, but this bit me years back when I was hiring a contractor to build a trail through Stars Cave. We tried to build the bid process where it was scoring on qualifications because it's going through a sensitive state preserve, and that was right when the state law changed of if you do a bid process, then you have to take a public entity has to take the low bid. If it's an actual like per price bid process, we don't have the choice on that project anyway. Maybe that has changed since, but
Well,
at least on then, you know, if we're saying we're gonna assess this based on price, you have to take the real estate company that offers the lowest commission.
Yeah, if we don't have a pre-established, criteria, then we have to go with that.
Yeah,
Lowest
that's how
price.
I ended up with a pipe fitter building a trail.
That's how you bid up with, oh, the pipe fitter, oh, that, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. So
That actually happened.
we did-
I remember,
how'd that go?
As you'd expect.
You could send it to the pipe fitters union office. Maybe this guy's got a little real estate.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect there's electricians and carpenters that could sell this too. This is the only reason why I'm bringing this up is that I'd hate to see us get down this road and then we want to go with this real estate company and then find out, well, these guys came in with the lower commission rate, we have to go with them. And, you know, it's somebody that started this real estate company last week.
Right.
Uh,
Question, I apologize coming in late, but you're looking for, what somebody's opinion of the value is, and you're also looking for somebody to list the property
Yeah.
for sale, that's,
we're looking for the people that can list it, but we want to include, so we don't want to pay for an appraisal.
sure.
So we want them to include in their request for proposal, we want them to say, we think this is worth $100,000. Or the estimated market value would be $100,000 or $7,000 for a lot, and it would be up to them if they want to combine lots or.
So you're doing this, I mean, you did the closed bid or on the health building.
Yeah.
You can't do the same thing with this?
Well,
We could.
the thing about it is the reason we had the closed bid is we didn't want an auction where everybody's standing out there and the guy looks around, doesn't see anybody else, and he says, I'll give you $1.
Okay, yeah.
And you've advertised it, so you've
I
sold
didn't know
it.
if there was a requirement one way or another.
And so we ended up putting a minimum bid on it because it's no secret, there's not a lot of people looking at it, and we thought it was worth that much, at least we wanted to get rid of it.
Sure.
And actually it worked out pretty well, but that was to get, now I don't know whether, if you were gonna buy that redemption center, there would probably be a little less interest in that with that building, because they would have to tear the building down, but I don't know that. And the other ones could be building lots, either individually, or you could combine them and make a little bigger lots, and maybe that's worth more. So we don't wanna pay for it, but we'd like to know what it's worth, I don't know, however they.
Well, and it's not just that we would like to, so one of the big differences, Matt, is, so whenever you have an auction, whether it's in person, online, blind bid, it's all, any of those auction forms, fair market value is presumed, that price is fair market value. When using a realtor, we'll get an offer and we decide to accept it or not. So, but we have to be able to show that that offer is within the realm of fair market value. So that's why I'm saying we need something, and I think you're right when you say, an estimated market value. We have yours, that's one, right? I like Jim's idea of asking for, hey, can you get, while you submit, can you put in an estimated market value? And then that gets us however many more we get back. We take the aggregate of those, have a I could go to a judge very easily and say, yes, this is the fair market value. We've had X amount of people look at it, here it is. So, but that's the difference, and that's why we need this extra step if we use a realtor.
I would have them send in their comps along with the RFP, so that if you guys get challenged on fair market value, you've got something to go back to that can show that they did the research and it was based on comps in Burlington and nothing nefarious happened.
Yeah, I mean, part of their market analysis report should Add that on. Yeah, I mean, that's part of. Okay.
Market analysis report, is that the verbiage we want to include in there?
I would say so.
Okay. I like that. Or anything I said. Market analysis report.
In the RFP, do you stipulate that all those lots are going together, or the redemption center's one, or are you leaving that up to the real estate to divide and sell how they see fit? Or are you gonna tell them it needs to be all in one, or the lots are, you know what I mean?
Well, the building lots, I think probably that would be up to the realtor. He said, well, if you can sell those, if you've got 3 building lots, you can sell those, you know, and they're worth that number of dollars. But if we double it up, you know, then it's worth more. I would assume they would make that difference. We tell them, these are the lots. We want to, you know, sell lot A, B, and C. And we don't care whether they combine them all or sell them all separate or whatever they have to do.
They may get somebody that says, I want to buy all of it together, so they have it all together, and the neighbor
Yeah.
might say, well, I want the one lot, I want to bid on, you know, just the one lot, so. That's what I mean, are we leaving up the realtor to say, hey, we're gonna piece those 3 little lots out in the building together, or it's all one?
I thought,
No, I
You know what I mean?
let them, when they start selling, if they want them, let them buy them. If they don't want them, sell them later.
well, I would be very surprised if somebody wanted to buy the 3 building lots and that recycling center. That doesn't go,
No.
you might have a realtor want to handle them. He's not gonna make that as a, you'd have the one where if somebody's interested in that building, they've got it. Where it's a big lot, and if they want to knock it down and do something else with it, I can't imagine putting it all together in one. Those 3 lots, I would think you could put together, and then a realtor can say, well, we can make this into one big lot and one small lot, and they would decide, or maybe one great big lot. And
I'm
it's
not
worth more.
100% sure, but I don't think the way those lots are now, you'd be able to build a house, City of Burlington's rules.
Well, they're
Oh,
only
really?
40-foot wide, all the wider they are.
Yeah, I think
Oh, is
they'd have
that
to
it?
be combined, at least 2 of them would have to be combined.
Yeah.
Well, a realtor would know that.
Yeah, exactly, I don't.
Now, that little narrow lot, is that part of this, or that belong that other house up there?
I think that belongs to the.
That's not the counties.
What's that?
That's not the counties, that's
not the county.
somebody else
Yeah.
on there.
And I know there's a lot right next to where there is something built, but I think codes have changed, and that's not enough frontage.
Grandfathered in.
I think
What's that one? You've got your arrow on there.
that,
No, with that little house down at the bottom. There.
Little
The
shed.
It's a shed.
Shed.
It's the county's law.
Okay.
I don't know what that is, it doesn't have a picture. It's the one on the.
Storage.
Yeah, so this is none of that is there. The only thing is that there's a little shed right there. That's no longer there.
So those 3 lots are empty. Okay.
Correct. There's one little shed just on that one corner. And it's really not much, probably needs to go down
there you go.
all the way. It's got a lot, I don't even know what's in it.
So that's a realtor's job, is to decide what this is worth the most. You know, do I have 3 small lots or do I put it into one big lot? That would be their expertise, I would think.
I'm pretty sure the Boy Scouts have their stuff in it at one time.
Okay.
It's empty, I believe.
So anyways, I think for our purposes here today, we want to come back with a request for proposal to be approved next week.
Yep.
On that, we'll ask for market analysis report and their response. And I understand you want as part of your selection criteria, at least 1 year of experience selling commercial property in Burlington or in Des Moines County. And you want a.
Should be commercial and residential because those lots might be residential.
Okay, yes, okay. And then also, you want a block for reputation as well, so that'll at least make that part of the scoring. And then also, a block for, commission rate. And then, marketing provided.
That would be great.
Is that, is there anything else I'm missing?
Oh, are we gonna put in there, you know, do you need a exclusive, you know, what was the term, they've got the exclusive rights
Exclusive right to list.
for, you know, or link, or exclusive rights, or however you would ask that. Do you need, what do you need exclusive rights for, 6 months or a year, or however you would phrase that in there, so.
Okay.
Now, you might wanna put that as part of the, scoring,
Sure, sure.
I think.
So we put that together, and then that'll take care of those first two steps, and then once we have, and then 2 weeks to respond. Well, yeah, I think 2 weeks.
Is that enough time, Matt? Give them 2 weeks? I was a contractor, you can't do anything in 2 weeks if somebody sends you a set of blueprints.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
a lot of these people would have this kind of stuff prepared already, but
Yeah.
2 weeks might seem a little quick.
3 weeks, a month?
A month maybe.
Okay. 1 month to respond, and then with that, we can do, you can put it on the website, and then, you could ask Matt how to post it on that. You can let us know how to get a hold of that. You said there was a clearinghouse for all the realtors?
That's just the local board of realtors.
Okay, that
Just send it to
local
them and all the
So-
realtors would see
I
it.
think they would disseminate that, yeah.
board. So that way it's on our website.
Or better than us having to figure out what realtors are in town and email or whatever. I think
Yeah.
they would be able to send it out to everybody that's on the board of realtors.
And we can send it to them, and we wanna make sure that we're specifically sending it to at least 3. So that could be one of the 3 that's gonna cover all, and if there's any other 2, let us know and be ready to bring that back, so that way we have it done for the informal process, that we can say and document that we've sent it out to at least 3 real estate agencies.
The board of realtors should cover that, because every realtor in town's on that board of realtors. So that should cover your 3 right there.
I agree, but for our documentation purposes, that way we can say, we know we sent it to 3. That way we can say, we know we complied, instead of having to go in and reach into their organization to say that we relied on them. I think it's better that we can say we've sent it out to 3, so we know we're in compliance, but they will be the ones that really get it out to everybody, right? Because they already have. Yeah.
Why not just get their member list and then we send it, then you're confirming that we've sent it to at least 3. Rather than using them as the intermediary.
Would they have something like that, Matt, they could send us and said, here's our list of a member?
I would think so, but I'm not 100% sure. I would think they would be able to do that. Actually, the board of realtors that they're part of is, we just clear over to Ottumwa and southeast Iowa, encompasses a lot of agencies in this whole area. There's no longer just a Burlington board of realtors, it's southeast Iowa board of realtors, something like that.
Could they got computers, I'm assuming they could.
I think they would.
Then send the Des Moines County realtors.
Yeah, I would think they'd be able to do that.
Tracy, you need to put that in there.
I do have a question.
Don't go to
And I-
sleep on it, go ahead.
I need to get going. Did I hear you say that you can sell so that you can make a donation? Is that the intention? Once you sell this, it's gonna get donated to Hope Haven? Is that?
All this property was bought and those buildings were built with donations to Hope Haven, and those donations were made with the intent
Okay.
to support those. So, but as you remember, a lot of it got put in Des Moines County's name, I suppose, so it's not taxable. For whatever reason, we can't just give them that property, but we can sell the property
And then give
because the
them
money it was purchased with was given to Hope Haven, and then we would give that money,
Okay,
donate that money to Hope Haven,
Okay.
where it was donated to originally. That's clear, isn't it?
Right.
Oh, that's okay.
thank you.
Like what you're gonna do, so you got all that under control, man.
And
I think so.
And next week, we'll have an RFP ready to
Yes.
approve.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then,
We got 30 days.
Yes.
so, okay. Have a good one, Tracy. I can't believe you're leaving us
You can't?
before we get to secondary roads.
Oh, no. I gotta exit while it's good.
Okay, we have a plan, it sounds like?
Yeah.
You guys all good with it?
Really appreciate this.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
be patient with us. Will.
Sorry, I called you wrong name.
They look alike.
It won't happen again.
we have, I know you've all been waiting for this.
Drum roll, please.
We have a work session with the county engineer regarding discussion about future construction projects. So, as soon as the applause dies down, I will give you the floor.
First, I'd like to thank everybody for coming.
Raise your hand and make sure you're recognized before you speak.
We'll give everybody that wants to speak 2 minutes. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up where I'm leaning towards heading, which is different from, I told Jim that I'll hit on this a little bit more, or hit on it again to some extent when I'm doing my construction program presentation, just to go through it a little bit more and thought process wise. And as usual with anything we do, there's a lot of unknowns with all the moving parts. But when I presented my original budget to you for next year, my construction program, I'll just quickly run through it. You don't need to write it down or anything. You've got it in your presentation. It had a $400,000 project for Meeker's Landing Road for some grinding, which I still hope to do eventually. A $200,000 concrete patching job that was 3 different locations, one of those which was Meeker's. And then a couple other things like Highway 61 approaches, which is, as you guys know, all depends on when the DOT bills us, so God only knows when that'll be. And then intersection lighting, because as I told you guys, our goal is over the next 3 years to install lighting at paved and paved county intersections, and we're still staying with that as a goal. But since we discussed all of this, we of course bid Pleasant Grove Road, and an estimate that was anywhere from 1.9 to 2 million came in with a bid of right around 1.5 million. And I think you guys know that I'm all for bang for the buck. I'm all for the best value that we can find. There's just not a lot of really big true value to be found in our industry. I mean, you can have small wins, you can see concrete come in a little less, you can see, but you don't see $2 million jobs come in at 1.5 very often. That's a true situation where there's competition that is generating. And honestly, I don't think I'm exaggerating that. I mean, I could maybe argue our estimate was close to 1.9 depending on any given time, because we're always updating our estimates. But it truly was a $400,000 to $500,000 savings to the taxpayers.
Which project are you talking about?
Pleasant Grove Road.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Sorry, if I didn't say that earlier, that's my fault. So that got me thinking, which never is a good thing for Becky, because I constantly am peppering her with do this, update that, this, that, and the other. So I would like to pivot. I'm planning on pivoting. It's going to require some belt tightening and some rearranging, maybe some pushing back, but let's go. All of this is under the premise, and I'll be the first to admit there's yet one more unknown, that Manats, the DOT's contractor for paving, not the prime contractor, but the paving contractor, won't get done with everything they have to do for the DOT and won't move their portable plant this coming winter. So everything I'm going to talk about is under the theory that there would still be significant competition next spring for concrete work. So let me preface that if they have the driest, longest, mildest summer going and they lay more concrete than I could imagine being laid in one summer, and they pick up their plant and they leave, that changes everything. My world will figure it out, we'll move on. But what I'm going to talk to you about is more my preference to try to pivot and take advantage of the prices that we saw this last winter, current winter, possibly for another project next winter.
Nuisance question. Is that something that you would you make Manats aware of? Say, we're going to be bidding something next spring or something like that, So if they were deciding whether to move it or not, or, you know, they're kind of busy and they might not have to move it that early, so that it might.
The answer to that question is next fall.
Yeah.
As we read the tea leaves and we look at the overall what's going on with the DOT project and everything else, which we're very much in tune with. I have a superintendent at their weekly meetings every single Tuesday, so we understand their progress, both from the angle that we have somebody there during the meetings that they have, and also from the angle that we know construction. So if we look at this whole thing and we think, yeah, they're gonna be here, then we give Manats a courtesy heads up, no different than we would anybody else that, hey, we're gonna have this project coming along, just a heads up, we'll bid it this winter. We do that with local contractors just so they know to be looking for something from us. We're very careful. We want it to be a even level playing field. So if we think there's some question, we will absolutely reach out to Manats or even a local concrete contractor and just say, what's your schedule like next year? You know, are you already booked up? Has there been some big bids that, you know, that we're not aware of? Same thing with Manats. What's your schedule look like next year? Are you guys gonna keep your portable plant here? We're looking at a possible job and we're just trying to get a feel for the landscape. So all those are in play. And we will watch, your question is, we will watch that very closely, because if, whether through conversation, whether through just simply knowledge of the project, whatever it is, if we know they're gonna pull their plant, then we're no longer in the situation where we get that bottom dollar, or what I'm gonna call the bottom dollar. So at that point, we decide to go where the money's needed the most, rather than where we can get our best bang for our buck. So if you were asking me, if we were talking before we took these bids, or even within the first month after the bids, because I was busy with other stuff, I would have told you that my intended next concrete job, probably if whenever I had enough money saved up and whatever, was probably going to be most likely Bridgeport, the south half of Bridgeport. Knowing full well that Pleasant Grove still needs to be dealt with, but trying to evaluate between the two, where do we go next? But we won't get this competition at Bridgeport. Manats isn't going to Bridgeport. That's just not happening. They can't haul. I think the DOT spec is that, of course, they're going to haul most of their concrete in dump trucks. That's what you get out of a bulk plant, but you can only haul, unlike a mixer that you have, I want to say 90 minutes to get the concrete on the ground. I think in a dump truck, I think you have less than 30. So there's a radius that you're allowed to service out of that plant, and obviously Pleasant Grove sits in that radius, and other things don't.
Then I don't see how they can do that with what they've got to do north of Mediapolis yet, then all the way up to where you go down the hill.
I don't argue that at all. That's why that's why I'm here talking with you. I mean,
we're talking up to Newport Junction, you know.
You are, and then you're talking all the connections.
Yeah.
There's some county stuff they got to tie in. They still have to wrap up some little work left from the bypass.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but again, you know, if this weather pattern we have right now rolls right into beginning of April and on through, and there's also other things. Yeah. The DOT's already brought up with me that I'm one of the hindrances, because they're going to pull off and go do a 1.2 miles of paving for us. Even though it's right there, that means they're not paving on the DOT, you know, unless they're bringing a second crew and a second paver. I couldn't care less how they do it, but we're actually holding the schedule up ourselves if you assume that they're using the local crew and the local paver to go do our project. So maybe we're helping ourselves on that front. I don't know. But I think it's unlikely, Jim. That's the only reason I just want you guys, I know you guys let us have a lot of free reign and know that we have the best interest, but I just wanted to let you guys see where I'm pivoting from, because it is a significant change to some extent from what I talked to you about at length during our budget hearing. What I want to do, so I've done the numbers, this is not a small financial, we weren't really in position to go after this yet. I mean, it's a chunk of change. I mean, the next piece that I'd really like to do, if we're gonna do another piece of Pleasant Grove, is just a little bit longer, and if you extrapolate from the numbers we received to the length that we're looking at, which is about 1.5 miles as opposed to 1.2-ish or just a little under, it comes into being right around 2 million. And that's assuming the similar bid prices. I've had Devin working on that. But, so there's, again, a lot of assumptions. Again, the world of construction, what materials costs, all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of moving dynamics. So where I'm going with this is we're always looking, you guys know as well as I do that we're constrained. We only have X amount of dollars. So one of the things that I have Becky do far more than I'm sure she wishes to do is we're always looking at project out, here's how I want you to project it, tell me what my balance would be if this happened. That kind of a dynamic. And it's even more complicated because you get, the governor proposed a maximum 10% carryover in her budget bill as an example. Well, we all know I blow that out of the water in any given year because the construction is during the fiscal year. Look right now, we have a $1.5 million project, a little bit like the courthouse or the sheriff's parking lot. When's it going to happen? Which fiscal year is it going to cap? I mean, 300,000 or 200,000 for that one, 1.5 for mine. Does it start in May? Does it start in July? That's why my budget's so random. It's why it looks like one year we're rich and the next year we're poor because you don't know when 1 million or 2 million are coming out of it, So where I'm going with this is by pulling that Meekers project and then taking the patching that we were going to do ahead of that grinding out of our patching project that we're going to bid, which we're still going to bid for 2 other sites. We saved out of what I proposed to you about $500,000 roughly out of the budgeted number. There's a couple other factors that come in and help. The DOT owes us a little over $900,000 for the transfer, or what is going to be the transfer of the first 2.5 miles roughly that we're going to take over, which we're already plowing snow on. We did that agreement with the DOT this winter. I believe that's going to actually happen. It takes a lot for me to say that because they've had 4 years to make that happen and it hasn't, but I believe that's actually going to happen this year. So there's some revenue that I don't have. It didn't show in revenue when we were going through budget because I don't plan on money that I can't control when it's going to show up. So there's an example. So when I start bringing some stuff about like moving some stuff back, some revenue coming in that isn't in the budget at this point. And then there's a couple other little things as far as right now I'm anticipating doing two shops for finish up our motor grader shops. I'd probably push one of those back tentatively. So there's a 300. So by the time I move some money around, push some stuff back and everything else, I think I can set myself up with a projected $3+ million fund, and which if you combine the current fiscal year and next fiscal year would put us in a position of being able to bid a $2 million paving job on Pleasant Grove Road next winter. So there's a whole lot of moving pieces. I don't really expect you guys, you shouldn't have to follow. I'm the one staring at them. I'll probably go right back to staring at it tomorrow or this afternoon. I think with some shuffling, moving, and everything else, if you look at it over the course of the rest of this fiscal year and next fiscal year, I think we could financially do that. And unless the board says quit, I just can't walk away from the chance at the pricing we could see. I can't bring myself. I mean, the road needs it. I mean, need is not an argument. I mean, whether we go somewhere else, whether we go there, whatever it is, needs not an argument. The value, at least the potential of value, makes all of this worthwhile in my opinion. And I just wanted to you know, if I make small changes, sometimes I mention it, sometimes I don't. I've been doing that forever and boards respect that and life goes on. If I make fairly what I consider major changes, I want to let you guys be in the loop. So when I sit here and talk about construction program and I kind of run through the exact same stuff we're talking about right now to some extent, if you refresh and you look back at the budget or in the program I put in front of you and you're like, well, I thought he had Meekers and now he had it in next year, now he's got it in 2 or 3 years out and blah, blah, blah. I want you to kind of have an idea of where I think we're heading. I just think the opportunity for true savings and value for the tax dollars we're looking to spend on it, I think it's a no-brainer. So that's just, I wanted to let you guys see where my head was, where I was heading to. And like I said, if something changes and we see that Manats isn't gonna be sitting there with the plant, yeah, okay, that's fine. We pivot, whether we stay at Pleasant Grove and go after something, whether we go some other direction, whether something comes up we weren't expecting, which can always happen. We'll handle that. We'll deal with it. We'll move on. So, I don't know. You guys have any thoughts other than just want to give you some insight?
I don't, I think, you know what's best, you're the engineer.
Pretty tempting opportunity.
It's an opportunity, yeah.
Pretty tempting opportunity.
That's exactly why I'm sitting here, because everything I put in the budget is stuff I wanted and planned on doing. Every bit of it, for the next year. I don't want to push a shop back again. I've pushed it back a couple of times. But we can do that. There's another 300,000 in there too, because we have a shop in this fiscal year that we're not going to get done, obviously. So when you start looking at 2 fiscal years combined, I suspect we could, you know, we're no different than you guys when you talk about the general fund. You know, if you don't spend it, it's not out the door. And every year we get to the end of the year, and normally there's some money that didn't get spent, whether it's salt, whether it's winter stuff, whether something, whatever it is, whether we estimated 1.4 million on rock and we actually spent 1.32, there tends to be some money to roll forward, less overtime, whatever it is. And I expect that again. We've had a few years where that wasn't the case, where something came up, where something unexpected happened, but I think we'll end up over 3. I don't think we'll get to 4 when I'm looking at all the math. We'll redo all of this again, probably somewhere in August or September, when the county books actually close on the fiscal year, and we actually have a solid, here's the end of the year, fiscal year cash on hand that secondary roads has. We'll then, yet again, I'll have Becky redo everything, and we'll just keep on looking and making sure we don't have a surprise. But if you guys are good with this, this is the direction I'm heading, and I knew you would be. I mean, who wouldn't be after value, but I wanted you guys to hear it before I stand up here and do a construction program in a month or 2 and say, here's where we're gonna head and here's why and that kind of a thing. So.
Makes sense to me. I understand it. I agree with you. That's an opportunity.
I will say, I'll have to, if we move this direction, I probably at this late stage in the county budgeting process, my construction program, I'll make sure I fit into ballpark of what I showed you guys. So we'll probably look at budget amendment stuff to formalize it, or construction program changes and stuff like that after the fact. There's no reason to go screwing around with it now at this late stage. So I've hit all this topic, but you may see, you know, we'll handle all that when we get there, when we figure out what we're going to do and everything else. It's kind of like what, 2 years ago or last year or whatever year you want to talk about, all that. We did $1.1 or $2 million worth of local asphalt, and then it all landed in this fiscal year because it didn't come through till July. So we'll have a budget amendment sitting in front of you before too long at some point this spring, because technically on paper I don't have enough money in there to pay for the Pleasant Grove project that we're going to do, just because of how things come through. So, but all right, well, that's all I had. Appreciate your time. But
Okay.
just
A lot
want
of
to
it's gonna depend on what Manassas is gonna do, so.
Huh?
A lot of it's gonna depend on if they move that plant or not.